Alright, guys, this is Dave, Billionator, starting a Discord After Dark, which we haven't really done in quite some time. AronRa is trying to, trying to get into the Discord as we speak, so we are attempting to have an after show. So, without further ado, let me bring you into the Discord where there is a discussion progress on gun control. As you can imagine, gets a little heated.
Could see shooting the kid, and I would be on the side of the police officers. But have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Okay, because they're shooting him before they even have a stance. They're on their way out of the vehicle as they're shooting him.
Yeah, that's what I mean about response times. They're driving up, they're still moving.
Yeah.
I can't remember the light conditions now. Given the light conditions, it could have been.
It was daytime. It was pretty.
But he could have been in a shadow, and the cops could have had glare in their eyes. So that really cuts down your visibility to silhouettes and shapes of objects. They've seen the shape and silhouette of a gun, and they've reacted instinctually because they've been trained that fucking way to like, it's the bottom line is they've been trained. You shoot them before they fucking shoot you. If you see a gun, the automatic training. It's like when you hear the cops, the guy's down on the ground after he's been shot, and you hear the cops still screaming out, "Get on the ground, get on the." That's their training taking over. They're on fucking robot mode. Then they're just screaming out what they've been trained to do. Get on the ground, hands in the bed. You'll hear them contradicting each other sometimes because they're both. One of them be going, "Get on the ground." The other guy, "Get on your knees," or fucking face me. And the other guy, "Turn away," because they're all hyped up because they're in a fucking live shooting.
They're hyped up because they're in a life or death situation. And I think our cops should be trained. Life or death situations should not affect them the same way they affect civilians.
Of course they do.
They should have a leveler head than that because of their training.
That's not a realistic expectation. Adrenaline is adrenaline. You are a biological
but
machine.
Through training, you learn how to handle it.
You don't get trained
to a point.
Yeah, like
you learn what to do with it to a point, but at the same time, you can only take so much of that. That's the point. Like, if you are under adrenaline, your reaction time gets a lot lower, but which means your thought time gets a lot lower. The amount of time you actually think about what you're doing gets lower, so your responses become automatic. Now, it's up to the training program to determine what those responses are, and that goes back to what David McInnes said. But again, the question is, how much of that is actually sinking in to the people who are going into that training program, and how much of that is not?
Yeah, and I just wanted to comment on your comment about the military rules of engagement. The police and military have the exact same rules of engagement policy, what you might be getting confused with, and correct me if I'm wrong, is when you see videos of them doing engagements with completely different rules. So, for example, they walk into an area with known terrorists and they're looking for specific types of weaponry. Then they go, "Are we sure we need 2 clearances before we can fire?" And that almost always comes from on aerial drone warfare, or remote guidance type situations where it's using infrared cameras. But every military person has their primary rule of engagement is if they feel the threat of an attack, they are to return that attack immediately, without delay. So the idea that
somebody having a weapon is not a threat of attack.
I've just got a photo. Hold on.
I know.
I want to interrupt everyone for a sec. I've just found a photo of a real handgun next to the airsoft gun the kid had. Tell me which one's fucking which, because I don't know. There's no orange tip on there either.
But I know what the rules of engagement are.
Yeah.
No, which one of those guns is the real gun? I don't fucking know.
I don't know what happened to the gun. To me, I agree with what you're saying. But when the amygdala kicks in the brain and the chemicals start flowing, there's only so much of that you can train out in some regards. But I think the the level of training and qualifications to have somebody be an armed officer versus somebody who doesn't carry a fucking gun like they have in the UK at certain instances, and that the rules of engagement to de-escalate situations should be so well drilled in that
Thank you.
You know, you minimize these instances.
Just a side note, it's the bottom gun that's the real 45, the top one is the airsoft gun. However, in an engagement real life situation, the chances you would be able to pick that out are not good.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. I'm honestly saying right now, I'm not pissing in your pocket. I didn't know which one of those was legit. I started to suspect the bottom one though, and I don't know fucking why.
Well, and I'm not saying
you have to.
Boy. Right, I'm saying that they should. It is not unreasonable to expect police officers, unless the weapon is being pointed at them or a civilian, to demand a cease to an action before firing their weapon.
You know what I think that cops should have built into their cars? I think you should have a slotted that attaches to the inside of the door. On the passenger and driver's side, like essentially a riot shield that's quick release from the internal part of the door itself. So if they have to go into a certain situation, they can grab like a transparent bulletproof riot shield and have it right there instead of having to call in like fucking people.
They already wear vests.
So, yeah, but a vest only protects you so much.
What's a shield going to do that you can put inside the door of a car? I'm not shitting on the idea. It's just that everyone has these expectations of what police should do, and not one time have they ever sat in their position. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have countless number of police officer friends, so I can, hear them talk about these situations all the time. I'm on the phone with these guys. No. Many times when they're working late night shifts, if they have a problem with their girlfriend or something like that, and they're just mentally stressed, I try to help them as best I can to just make sure that they're got a clear mind when they go into the work. They're human beings, and when they're told to chase the bad guys when every other citizen wants to run away, you're coming into that automatically with a different mindset, regardless of the training that you're given. Again, I'm not saying that they get a carte blanche check here where they can do whatever they feel like. I'm saying they need to be held accountable when those times are appropriate. But as I said earlier, you might have missed this when I said it. There's a strong reason why we have indemnification towards police is because we know we can't ensure that it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and I try not to speak to exactly what police are going through, but I have been in firefights before, and I know what it's like to be in a situation where bullets are flying and you think you could die in the next moment. And I know what that's like. And there's a reason we don't send people with no training into those situations, because training does help you handle the situation better.
Yeah, that wasn't my intent either when I said that.
I know. I was trying not to interrupt you, but I was trying to say thank you. You kind of got it right on what you said.
Well, have you guys, like, for instance, the closest I've ever come to a live firefight is a game of paintball. But I'll tell you what, when we played against the local police tactical response group, we lost badly. But it was a fucking ball-tearing good time. These guys had tactics, like, we'd all played first-person shooters, and we all thought we were the shit because we play Quake 3, we're going to be good. No. The police just moved in groups and fanned up and flanked us and basically fucking annihilated us every time. It was awesome. But the adrenaline rush I got from being shot at with a paintball whizzing just past my fucking head, it's like, and your heart gets fucking going like that. And I understand that sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're going to make a bad decision. And sadly, the fucking poor kid being shot with that airsoft gun, I'm looking at the fucking thing compared to a normal pistol. If you're rolling up in a car and you see that, and I understand sometimes police officers, you see a gun, you take down the perp and the source of the problem. That's a training thing. I'm not going to condemn the officer for this shooting. It's a really sad, fucked up situation. But I don't think the guy got up in the morning and went, I'm going to go out and shoot myself a motherfucker today because that
neither
makes me feel good.
I don't think they're evil. I don't think the police who kill in situations that something better could have happened, I don't think those cops are evil and they plan it going into that situation. And I also don't think that they feel no remorse afterwards. I'm sure to this day that shit's tearing those cops up.
I just want to say two things. One, cops have an impossible job. They really do, dealing with the situations they deal with every day. And two, they are, at this time, still to this day, with all the legalizing across the United States, they arrest more people for drug crimes than anything else. Now,
yeah.
I just want to say, we're talking about all this stuff and all the problems. When we start looking back of base issues, why are there guns? Why are police actively, searching people and looking for drugs so viciously? If you eliminate that, a lot of these problems are solved. I'm not saying all of them will be, but when you're training your police force to be at war with citizens, there's a problem.
Well, it's kind of anecdotal, but I grew up in.
When you're training your police force to be at war with citizens.
Sorry.
Somebody always had the stream going.
Interesting little side note, statistic, whatever you'd like to call it. Police officer does not make the top 10 of most dangerous jobs in the United States.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm curious. I'd like to ask Jamie something really quick, because you are in a unique position in that you have a lot of friends that are cops, and so I talk to a decent number of cops pretty regularly, just in passing, but not probably to the same extent. So let me ask you a different question. That's maybe one that people don't ask often enough.
Do they like donuts?
No.
I'm kidding.
There's
well, fuck 'em.
a video that there was a video a couple of us here watched just the other night here that the CEO of Google was doing a talk a couple of years ago, and he was asked what his philosophy is on like how to decide what to do next, and he basically said, if you want to have the most impact, you've got to do the things that nobody else is doing, like that. You know what I mean? Like, not just incremental change, but find things that make big differences and implement them. If you were to try to think of what things you would do differently to have the most positive impact on the way the policing is done, what do you think that you would change?
Oh, wow. I don't think I'm qualified at all to even answer that question. I mean, it like you said, the fact that it's so massive, there's so many things involved. I mean, number one, you have policy being decided for these police officers from people who got a cushiony office job without any infield experience whatsoever. They're selecting the firearm that the police need to use. They're selecting the holster that it goes in. They don't understand things like how uncomfortable it is to sit in the vehicle with that new larger gun and a light put attached to the bottom of it. To things like how many traffic tickets are expected to be picked up, not in the sense of a quota where police are mandated to get those tickets, but in the sense of, this is a reasonable expectation, to judge how a unit is doing, to, how overtime is unfairly spread amongst a lot of these precincts because they can't coordinate vacations with, people who are normally scheduled to be there versus ones who are off. And so they just ask people to stay over. And I mean, you get, the one thing I can say that, I think they're doing a good job in is, like I said, I do think the training has been catching up. You are seeing police respond better to people with their cell phones out recording them. It's not as much of a shock and a scare. You're seeing better, customer service skill style training for initial interaction. You're seeing, just an awareness level of the sensitivity to, like I said, this perception that, people say driving while black and that kind of stuff. One of my very good friends, right after a lot of this was really hyping up, just within the last couple of years, his very first African-American that he pulled over, and he's white male. The guy was frozen in the car. And I remember he told me that he looked at the guy and he said, "Are you okay?" And the guy goes, "I just don't want to get shot." And he goes, "How many times have you been pulled over in your life?" And the guy goes, "Over 5, 6, 7 times." And he goes, "And how many times have you been shot by the police?" And he goes, "None." And he goes, "Then what makes you think today's going to be any different?" And so my friend walked all the way in front of the car, put his hands on the guy's car's hood, and he goes, "Here, you can see my hands are in plain sight." He goes, "Can you get out your driver's license?" And, and he went to that extreme to help the guy see that this is not normal. When he came back to the car to actually retrieve the license, the guy went, hey, you know, he goes, I don't know what I'm doing. He goes, this is crazy. I'm letting the news poison my mind. He goes, I don't need it. And yes, I understand this is coming third hand to you guys. I don't expect anybody to believe me at face value here, but you know, he's a longtime friend of mine. And when he told me that story, I mean, I was like, you need to get that out there so people hear about it. So all I'm saying is the awareness has been increasing for police officers. In my opinion, the training has been following suit, but unfortunately, because government, you know, like they say, what's the opposite of Congress? It's progress. You know, the delay in catching up to what the issues are that citizens have, to conveying that to the police officers and policy change, I think is the biggest single factor in hurting police is the delay. There's no sense of priority by the government that's causing these changes.
Okay. Like, I mean, like I was just so one thing you did say that I really do agree with too is that the people who are setting policies, like not having an awareness of, you know, what the police are actually. I was just talking to an officer here in Canada the other day. They just passed a law in the city here out of nowhere that says there's going to be no smoking of any kind in any public place anywhere within city limits, including parks, beaches, everything, right? And well, that sounds like some people may be for that or against that. The reality is that's going to be impossible to actually police. And he's like, if the city thinks that we're even going to be bothered to enforce that when we've got so much other stuff to do, like they should be consulting with the police departments more before passing arbitrary laws and bylaws and all this sort of stuff that causes a lot of just unnecessary nonsense. Yeah, and the city council passed this just recently, and they have potential to be as much as like a $20,000 fine, which is absurd. It's never going to hold up, and it won't be enforceable. Like I was talking to some like this officer and one other guy about it too, and he was like, "No, this is ridiculous." There was no discussion about it. It was just like a unilateral decision that was fucking passed out of the blue, and it likely won't hold up, but. Like that sort of thing, just there's a lot of nonsense stuff that goes on that I think that needs to just be fixed.
Yeah, can I add to what you're saying? And again, I'm not a paid representative for any police agency whatsoever. But if I could, like I said, I've got a lot of long-term friendships with police officers. If I could just take a minute to just speak for them as their friend, I'm not talking about my personal friends. I want to say something about. Many of them have said to me, we only enforce the laws that are on the books. We don't give a crap about somebody having marijuana in their car, and in some cases, even small amounts of personal use cocaine. The problem is, let me just finish this real quick. The problem is when they go to make the arrest, what they hope is that the person goes, hey, man, you're just doing your job. Or, hey, it doesn't have to be a man or a woman. It can be man or woman. But the idea is, hey, you're just doing your job. Yep, you busted me. It's over. He goes, but some of these people react to the arrest as F you, and now it's time to go to war. And when you're in that kind of situation, people treated their getting caught with a minor drug possession as being a minor drug possession, the same as when you get caught speeding. Sometimes, as Red said earlier, it's good to just go, damn it, you caught me. I was speeding. That was dumb on my part. There's a better relationship there, but it's not. It becomes a war because people believe the drug possession charge is petty, and that's fine. It needs to be changed, and it needs to be changed. But they're just enforcing the laws in the books, and the reaction is sometimes escalated just from that alone.
Okay, and I get what you're saying. Number one, what state do you live in?
I'm not going to answer that on there.
Okay, well, I just want you to know, in a lot of southern states still to this day, even have a seed in your car will be a federal offense. Okay, so you're saying it's a petty little marijuana charge. It's not the case across the country. Now, places like California, it's been legal since '96 medically. Yeah, I can see where they're relaxed on it a little bit. But it's not the case everywhere. Number two, these people think they're going to be in trouble for the drug charge. Before you move on to number two,
I just had to ask you to clarify what you said. My phone cut out. I just want to make sure I heard you. You said a seed is a federal offense in your state?
There are southern states that right now have on the books that if you are found with seed or a little roach in your ashtray, it's a federal drug offense.
Because that's a contradictory statement.
What do you mean?
It is, and it isn't. It is, and it isn't, because most.
Okay, well, you can be arrested for it.
Right. The statement was incorrect. He was trying to express that that's the enforcement that actually occurs. That's the point he was going at.
Did you mean felony? That's why I wanted to clarify.
Yes, a felony. Sorry.
Okay. That's all. Go ahead with point number 2.
Okay, so that impacts your life.
Yeah.
And so these people, some people think that these are really heavy charges now. And you said it's just a little drug crime. Well, a drug charge. So they take you in, they slap you on the hand. Some places even give you a fine or something. But it's still an arrest. It's in the paper. You can lose your job. People see that you got arrested for drugs. It's a detrimental thing. So yes, people are nervous and upset that they got caught with a little bit of marijuana. I understand why they might escalate a little bit. Now, I'm not saying the cops are wrong for saying we're only enforcing the laws on the books, but I think they should understand why the drug war is a problem and maybe start speaking out to help get these laws changed. I mean, I can just, all these points I can just kind of track back to one problem. And I can't stress enough how big of a problem it is and why it separates the community from the police and why the community acts the way they do to the police and the police act the way they do to the community.
But I think a big part of the problem is the community's reaction to the police. That in the scenario that Jamie was presenting, it doesn't have to be that somebody escalates the scenario. If the police are, let's say, pointing a gun at you, pretty much anything you do except for what they're telling you to do is making your situation worse. And the amount of people that have that fight or flight response and take the fight option in that and escalate it physically or whatever, those are the people that usually end up getting tased and shot and slammed onto the concrete because, you know, adrenaline starts pumping on both sides and everything. But I think that it's a fundamental issue that the public as a whole does not give the police enough respect to complete their job properly. Not to say that the police are innocent all the time, but it's the general reaction, even when people are getting a speeding ticket is, oh, well, you know, F this guy. Why did he have to pull me over today? Because they, you know, all of a sudden ruined your day getting a speeding ticket. Instead of I think it's the minority of people who say, oh, yeah, you know, I was going a little fast, take your ticket and move along with life.
I understand that part, but where I live, every traffic stops typically leads to some kind of search for drugs. It's a constant escalation by the police. And I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not blaming cops. They have I couldn't imagine doing their job. They have an impossible job, especially the way things are right now, with all the people with mental illnesses that are on the street because we don't have a healthcare system that takes care of them, with the guns, everything. I get all that. I'm just saying a lot of this stuff just goes back to the fact that we have a horrible policy about our drugs and how we deal with them. And it's been here for a while, and it's slowly turned our police into a military-style force, and it's turned the citizens against the people that are supposed to be protecting them. So that's it.
I've been sitting here pondering crazy ideas because I was trying to come up with an answer to what I asked you, Jamie, is like, what kind of crazy drastic thing could you do? One thing that you could possibly do, and I think that we're about at the time where we have the technology to do it, it could create potentially jobs as well, would be the moment that a cop unholsters their gun, right? Like, you know, they're going to draw their weapon, that their body cam and all that stuff that they've got, which I support that should be a thing, gets pinged to a support place where they have somebody who can, you know, we have essentially call centers, but trained support staff that are actually cops that have been in the field. Maybe they've had to retire, they have an injury, they have whatever, but they still have experience, people with counseling background, that kind of shit. You have people there, and that they can be tuned right in that situation, in that radio, to have an objective viewpoint of what's going down and potentially try to de-escalate or act as a negotiator for the people who are in that situation if needed.
Just wanted to draw attention to that graph there really quick. Now, this is from 1974 to 2018, and statistics on the number of officers that were killed in the line of duty. And what we're seeing is a downward trend since the middle of the 1970s. A lot of fucking cops compared to today were dying in the line of duty, and a decent percentage of those were shooting deaths. And what we've seen now is in the last few years is the police enacting better training methods that are increasing officer safety, which will in fact probably have the dividend of increasing citizen safety, one would hope and assume. But yeah, less police being killed on duty will make them less trigger happy and less nervous about being shot at the next traffic stop. So the more safe police feel at their job, I think will directly have a result of the citizens being treated a little bit fucking better. And how do we accomplish that? I don't know. Do we dress the officers up like fucking Ed 209 in little mini mechs so you can't shoot them? Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
I think
it's funny you say that, because I was going to say those statistics could inflate in their mind that they're doing the right thing and keep shooting.
Yeah, well, exactly. How do you interpret that data? That's a really good point too. This is my personal opinion. Everything I say is just through my little goggles and my view on this fucking planet, and I'm crazy as a fucking cut snake. So. But yeah, I think that could correlate. If an officer feels less likely to be fucking murdered while out at doing his duty, maybe he'll be less likely to fucking feel like, oh, I'm going to have to draw for my weapon every time I come across a citizen, or get that urge to pull out the service revolver and at least show that they've, you know, that to me may help things calm down if less officers are being killed in the line of duty. And I don't know, maybe funding them with better safety gear would be a good start. Slapping body cams on every motherfucker would probably be a good idea too. And I believe some departments have enacted a thing where when a weapon's drawn, that body cam automatically starts recording. So that's a good thing.
And to the point of body cam, there's actually, and I don't understand this, there's body cams that can be turned on and off by the officer.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
Well, that to me either, David. But at the same point, if you're going to give them that choice, then they should be accountable for the missing footage. Like, the person's saying that, and you have a bias, like you have an implicit bias as a police officer, because you are a public servant, to cover your ass.
Yeah,
with your body. The body cam.
They go for a piss.
The body cam is.
Question.
Wait a second, Red Eye. The whole point of having the damn body cam is to cover your ass. If you turn it off, that automatically makes you look like you're doing something wrong. It's almost like guilt by absence, which is it's kind of. But the justice system in the United States doesn't work that way. If you don't have
that's
evidence,
what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, if you don't have evidence that somebody did something wrong, then you don't have evidence that they did something wrong.
You guys remember when instant replay became a thing on football live football games on television in America? It was again, I'm not talking about what we call soccer. When NFL games were going on, and instant replay first became a thing. The referees were not allowed to use instant replay technology to make calls on the field. And then as time went on, it took about 20 years, they finally said, hey, we should probably start using instant replay. And when I was mentioning the delay by our politicians to enact change to keep up with times for these police, it's the same thing. Body cams are not allowed to be used in court for guilty charges at all. They are there as a tool that can be used in the case of when you have to do what's known as an affirmative defense, which is a preponderance of the evidence. So if the police officer says, oh, and also I have a body cam that comports with what I'm saying, and it all corroborates, that's when the body cams come in as evidence. Otherwise, they have to be viewed by a judge behind closed doors with only the legal team present, the prosecution and the defense. Any individuals who are actually being represented at the case. It's just behind closed doors, kind of like a Lincoln hearing that they do, and it's viewed just to view it. But when it's submitted as evidence, it has to be in defense of the police officer, never against. So we haven't caught up yet. It's just like the instant replays in football. It's going to take time until that finally becomes something that's admissible, and it's ridiculous. I totally understand.
Do you think, though, that having some sort of an ability to track when there's sort of like one of these active situations, that there's a way to kind of connect a support person remotely that's sort of outside of the danger zone, so to speak?
Yeah, who's going to pay for that, Dave?
Wait, the issue I would have with that...
It's not the question, it's not who pays for it.
That was the joke from
the issue.
Yeah.
The issue I would have with that is the technology for body cams. The person watching it is never going to have all of the information that the officer has. And when you have somebody sitting back, being able to make different calls off of limited amounts of information, that could cause a huge amount of conflict, especially if something does go south. Now, who do we blame?
Also, the on and off thing, I've got one argument for it. The officer's right to privacy when they go to the bathroom. It's like they've got to have the ability to turn that thing on and off at this point until there's such technology that's enabled so they can use it through a wireless network and dispatch or whoever, the sergeant that's sitting in fucking the control center can go, right, you're going to an active scene, activating everyone's fucking cams. And eventually we'll probably get there. But right now, they've got to have the ability to turn the thing off because they've got to go to the toilet and take a fucking dookie sometime, and you might not want that recorded for the fucking public fucking record.
Yeah. And the other thing about situational awareness is a great point that you made, which is why, and it's being phased in slowly, but now we're moving from body cams to head cams. Now the officers are wearing basically a backwards facing sunglass in a sense, as far as how it sits on their head, and the camera's right on the side of their temple. I mean, you see where their heads are turning. That doesn't tell you where their eyes are looking, but it will at least be better than just, in some cases, tilted off to the side, dangling because it's just clipped on, their shirt. This horrible body cam footage is just kind of pointing aimlessly in one direction.
I mean, we may well be at the point technologically where it wouldn't be infeasible to be able to have somebody see what the other officer is basically seeing in with VR glasses on or something to that extent, and be able to be from a calmer place, help to assess the situation. You know what I mean? Not that that's anything, but
I want to try to talk to one of our new people here.
Okay.
QE Poo. I don't know if you can hear me, but you might need to leave and come back to unmute yourself. But you are not server muted, and you have the role to. You are not here to actually participate in the conversation. Please watch this from YouTube. It's on the Great Debate Community channel.
No, QE Pew's writing right now. But I don't mean to be hyperbolic, guys. This is a channel that one of my friends said to come into, which is pretty spinny.
Cool.
Are you the friend of Christy?
Yeah, and
yeah, she was talking about you right at the end of the stream. She said, "Hey, keep an eye out for my friend. He might make an appearance. Make sure you tell him I said hi. I'm glad that he made it." So I'm just passing the word that she said. That's awesome.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And without discombobulation, I think this is I don't know what type of community it is, but it seems pretty cool. So,
well, just so
yeah.
you're aware, we are streaming to YouTube right now. That's what the little red dot next to him in Hangout means.
No, that's okay.
So
that's okay.
Just you are on YouTube. What you're saying is being recorded along with an outside live chat and everything.
Yeah, just a friendly.
It doesn't even look like a red dot to me. It's just a white thing.
Yeah, but I get 100,000 people watching my YouTube channel, so I'm not worried.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're cool with it. I mean, the Great Debate Community channel only has 2,000 subs. And I say only because the non sequitur has 12.
Yeah, that's all right. I just don't understand the channel that I got invited to. That's all. Can someone explain it to me?
Yeah, sure. What's your channel about? I'm curious. So you get a lot of viewers. What do you do?
Never Jade Live. Same name.
Okay. What's the sort of topic? What's the thrust of the channel?
I make movies and editing in my genre. So yeah, you can have a look at it.
Yeah, sure. Let me drop a link in the Him and Hangout chat.
Yeah, David, it's nothing to be complicated. It's just I got told this was a debate section. I'm not quite sure if that's correct.
Yeah, we do debates and discussions and on different topics and things, and have guests in and talk science and all sorts of stuff. Just generally.
Yeah, because I'm from Cairns, Queensland, Australia.
Okay. Oh, Red Eye here is from Australia too.
No, I'm not. I'm a crisis actor. What are you talking about?
He's from Emu. He's actually a casualty from the Great Emu War.
Hey, don't talk about the fucking Emu War. This shit.
Red, on tonight's stream, I made a comment. Somebody it was Iso. He goes, hey, you gotta get on there to talk with Red about sovereign citizens. And I go, oh, what the fuck does Red know about First Amendment? I go, he's from Peter's country. And so this guy goes, hey, don't be making fun of Australians. And he got all defensive. And I was like, no, people. I was like, Red Eye is badass. I go, he's a great guy. I go, I'm literally giving him shit because it's an inside joke.
It's like, listen, Australia sucks. We number one, the Eureka Stockade was our failed attempt at independence from the fucking monarchy, and we failed miserably. We lost to a bunch of drunk fucking soldiers from England. Disgusting. Shameful display. Shameful. Then, 100 fucking years later, with machine guns, we managed to lose a fucking war to flightless fucking birds. To be fair, if you look at them from like the waist down, they kind of look like velociraptors, and if you put teeth in their beaks, they kind of would be, really.
Sure.
We had machine guns, and they beat us. We lost that motherfucking war, so...
Oh, my God.
I don't admit to being an Australian. I'm going with the flat earth thing. I'm actually a crisis actor on set at fucking Universal Studios. Yeah.
How's the ground hook holding up, man? The old ground harness.
Oh, the ground harnesses, yeah. Fuck, we've lost many good Australians to ground harness values, mate. Being upside down and all that shit. It's really hard to take off in a plane too. You got to strap the plane down to the runway. It's like I'm strapped down to the back of a really big semi-trailer, and we drive the semi-trailer down the runway, and then we let the straps go, and the plane just falls into the sky, and they start the engines. It's fucking awesome. See, I'm making up a better bullshit model for flat Earth than actual flat Earthers here off the top of my head. I'm explaining the fuck. How do you fucking take off in a plane when it's upside down? Well, I just told you.
Oh, for frick's sake.
So I am your new flat Earth guru. I'm going to start a Patreon. Make me fucking rich like Jism. Make me rich. I'll take your money. I'll spend it on guitars and more guitars, yeah. Upside down guitars with special harnesses so they hang off my belt because it's really hard, yeah. That's a whole different problem playing the guitar in Australia. You got to develop special harnesses that hang off your groin like a codpiece and you clip the guitar off. I'm going to stop now.
Well, you start up your flat Earth.
We don't want to be demonetized here. We don't want to be demonetized.
Emu War never happened. That's my the final word. Never happened.
Would guitar codpiece really get us demonetized? I don't know. I don't think so.
We're getting close to the line where we're going to start talking about certain things, like, you know how it always devolves into. I'm not going to say the D word, but someone will in a minute. Give it about 10 seconds.
There you go, Red. I just put something in the chat for you.
God damn it. No texting about the Emu War either.
And if you want the outside to see it, you can put it in stream chat.
It's
Jammy,
a GIF. No, it's a GIF. I thought.
Jammy, are you military? Are you military like me?
Am I military? That question sounds so open-ended. It's not even funny. I can answer it with yes.
Yeah, because the suppressing fire. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, no emoji versions of the fucking Emu War either. That's also no. No mention of it.
I just put up locker
with the suppressing fire. Come on, I thought you loved that.
You gotta love Cyril.
Yeah.
No, I just asked the question because I just wanted to know.
Yeah, no, I'm civilian, but I'm heavy into the military as far as my occupation. So I'm with a major defense contractor, so I go to Air Force and Army bases.
I'm full military, so
yeah. Well, thank you. Which country? I missed which country you're part of.
Australia.
Oh, okay. All right, I missed the.
Yeah.
I was sorry. I was hunting for the GIF there so I had to pull away from the audio.
The only reason I think I got invited to this group was it was a combination of flat Earth theorists and good conversations that are really high on the theory fella. So I went, oh shit, yeah, that's me. I should get in there. And yeah, it was just interesting. Interesting, definitely.
That's an ostrich. Epic fail detected.
No, I think it was more to do with the full concepts in science, like facts.
I'm talking about the pic. Someone's just posted a pic of a fucking ostrich. That's not an emu.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, that's fucked up. Emu 1, Emu 1, 0. Whoever posted that, tell him to go get fucked.
That was me.
The score's 2-0. You realise we went out for round 1, got our asses kicked, went back to base, got some Browning machine guns, went back out in the field, and still fucking lost.
Flamingos? No, flamingos are my war. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Anyone notice how Nova Jade here, he sounds almost like Drunken Koala?
Yeah.
No, but he's one of my mates that made me come into the channel.
Oh boy.
No, you're dead right.
We like Drunken Koala, we really do.
He sings to us.
He sings to us.
Yeah, he plays the piano. But no, him and someone else put me in and said, well, I don't know, the moderator will know who invited me, but yeah. They just said it's a great, awesome area with very intellectual people that just have certain...
Crap, I'm in the wrong place.
If we're intellectual, I don't know what's happened.
No, but what I mean was intellectual's a fuck word. What I meant to say was just good people debating about shit that is hypothetically funny.
Landon or someone, but
I mean, we're intellectuals compared to the flat Earth debates.
Yeah, well,
when you put it in perspective.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on where you set the bar, but I think we try.
I think it was more to the fact that Koala and Cindy, all those, and Cindy C. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's in here.
Nova, you know how on a first date they tell you no religion or politics are discussed?
No, most definitely. Yeah, it's fucked
Yeah,
up.
well, here it's the exact opposite. On your first date, that's all you talk about is your religion and politics. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's
well,
yeah.
And you might
Yeah,
you might end up divulging the name of your sex tape.
negative, sir. Negative.
It could come up. It might be outed at some point. Just saying. Beware.
My only claim to fame here is I apparently am a masturbator.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've debated on here, you're now a mass debater.
Yes.
That's
No,
awesome.
I just think it sounds like a cool channel, and yeah, that's all I give a fuck.
Yeah, we actually have some pretty interesting folks swing by from time to time. Most of the time, actually. Really, there's always somebody interesting around. Sometimes people that are completely batshit crazy, kind of interesting, and
cough, red eye, cough.
What?
Yeah, funny enough, Steve and Kyle are absent most of the time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'd like to get them in here more often, but
I tried to get on them the other day when I was on their stream, but don't want to.
We become the stern retro show.
You guys have heard Relax Koala, his words. Did you guys, obviously you've accepted it. I don't know.
What was this?
Relax Koala.
A relaxed koala?
He's called Barnsey now. He keeps changing like his name, but anyway, he's a good kid. I'm not worried about him.
It's hard to say goodbye to him.
No, he's in here, isn't he?
Like when you talk to him, he just keeps talking to you. It's not like a bad thing. It's just talking.
Yeah, but maybe he wants to connect. He wants to work you out, and he's young. He's very young.
He's young enough to think Trump's a good idea.
Yeah, he will try and get into your psyche to work you out. That's all. I mean, you got Shiver in here. Oh my God, Shiver.
You the Scam Destroyer? Yeah.
Yeah. I used to make calls with Shiver on DVR's channel. So.
Oh, right on. What did you say the genre of your videos are exactly?
Mental health, maybe.
They seem like
I don't know.
They look like film noir.
Oh, so it's more fiction. It's not like a direct.
What do you mean? Like I'm filming in a week. I'll go away up north. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering, like, are these like directed films or are these like interviews or like what kind of?
What is?
Well, the last one I did Top Gun. I did like a reverse Top Gun 2, and I made it into my trailer. And then my friends on Discord, they did the second one or the last one that I just uploaded, Bootsy's version. So yeah, but any film I do, I'm connected with everyone. So I just use the footage, put it into my head, and then I put it online.
Oh man, you can get oil from emus?
Sorry?
Dude, it cures cancer, don't you know?
I was just looking at the chat. I didn't know there was emu oil.
Dude, it's the next thing the U.S. is going to invade for.
Yeah. You should have kept your emus more of a secret. If they've got oil in them, the U.S. is coming for you.
And if it's not fuel oil, it's definitely to cure whatever ailments we have.
Holy fuck, Esso, you got such good mic, mate. Like, that's awesome.
Really? It's, I guess it's brand new, but you know.
Yeah, well, no shit, Sherlock. It's clear. It's clear as hell.
Wait
It's
till it
real.
starts coming in like shit.
Oh, shut up.
Ocean
No, it's
behave.
clear. He's got a good
Oh
mind.
fuck, is that Ocean?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
Ocean.
Howdy,
Oh,
y'all.
That's awesome. Sorry, I've been away for 3 days, so I'm just fanboying right now.
What the fuck does
I have
that mean?
fans.
Ocean, you have fans.
Yeah.
This is. I'm learning this.
I don't know.
seems
Yeah,
to-
I
that's all.
don't.
It's like-
I don't
He
know
made
why.
waves with his Jordan Peterson impression that he did on air.
I don't know why he has. Maybe that's what he has fans about.
Well, it's his impressions, and then on top of that, he has a really sexy beard. And what else can we say?
Please feed my ego
Intelligent.
some more.
He's intelligent.
He's also the best theist around.
Man, I'm basking in some glory over here.
Multi-god glory.
Mm.
Yeah, I just like Ocean because I get to disagree with him more than once.
What?
You're a pantheist, right? And so if
You
somebody's
have to be a polyatheist with me.
polyatheist, a polytheist. Which way would that actually work?
Yeah, I'm polytheist, so
No, sort of atheist.
no, polyatheist.
What the fuck is a polyatheist? What the fuck is
It's an
that?
atheist.
The new
that-
term. We're
It's-
working on it.
It's when an atheist has 5 or more heads.
Are you joking?
It's when we don't believe in hydras. But anyway.
It's like when it's when an atheist is like a hydra. Like you cut off an atheist's head and 3 more grow back, and it's really fucking irritating.
Fuck me, that's
You have like a fucking
hyperbolic.
atheist infestation at that point. And it's polyatheist because it's a reference to the Greek with the hydra. So
Yeah, but why would you give a fuck in this day and age about that? Like, I don't know.
because I'm trying to chop off their heads, but every once in a while you get one that grows back, and then it's like, fuck, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah, but Ocean, you're more intelligent than that shit.
It's almost better
About-
to just leave
No,
it
I've
alone.
totally chopped off a few atheist heads. Like that's
Hello.
par for the course if you're debating in this debate scene.
Yeah, but if you're talking about mythology, or are you talking about past knowledge that you know through family? I don't know.
I'm just talking about hydras right now, bro.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
I
remember when
don't
I said-
understand.
remember when I said
don't
earlier that we
understand.
Specifically
real
atheist
deep here?
hydras.
Yeah, but I don't understand that. So I'm
They're usually wearing fedoras.
I'm more meek for it. Sorry. Yeah.
Remember when I
don't
said
know.
earlier that we get real deep on this channel? When Ocean walks in, we don't. We're
No,
we
either
live deep.
either we go
Fedora
way one
debate.
side or way the other. Like we'll go really fucking deep, or we'll go just really like fucking pedantic. Like
To
It's
be
gonna
fair,
be-
the ocean is always deep.
Actually,
Well, he's
you
not
see,
the
actually,
he's not the Marania Trench, so he could be Everest upside down.
I don't get it.
wow.
You don't get it?
No, I'm confused.
Well,
Okay,
because the
you can-
Marianas
you
Trench
can-
is deeper than Everest.
No, I got that. I just didn't get
Yeah.
the Everest thing.
Yeah, well, you can climb high or you can fall low. I don't know.
You can go 9
It's-
kilometers high or 12 kilometers down.
There you go. Someone picked up on it. Thank
Look,
you.
if my name was Planet Earth, I'd get it, but I don't know.
Well,
Oh,
it
I
ain't-
see. You
it ain't
despise
part of
the
it.
land because the land can go up high, but you're only down low.
No clip? No clip got it. Thank you, mate.
No problem.
Well done.
There we go,
Well
fixed
done,
it.
sir.
At least someone speaks Australian here.
Yeah, now I like to think I have some relation, but
Oh, yeah.
uh,
No clip's an Aussie. He's an Aussie. You can tell in the
no, I'm
voice.
not an Aussie. I'm just good at impersonating accents, impersonating people's accents. I'm
Yeah,
actually Northern
I
Georgian.
don't. Well, hypothetically, I don't want to influence anyone or make any difference. I'm blown away that I'm with a lot of people that are really fucking into good shit. You know, I love that. So there you go.
Dude, you got some good weed.
Wait
or
a week,
like
and then
that?
you'll
Like,
find out what we're really
Wait,
like.
I have CBD oil in my vape.
excellent. I have a hookah that's still in a box. I need to get that thing out.
Did you say a hooker?
A hookah.
No.
Oh.
No.
You need to learn your apparatuses, sir.
Man, why did I deny that?
He keeps hookers in boxes. Interesting. Is
According
there more to?
to
I gave up a good fucking chance there. Like, why did I say
Is there more
no?
about you, Ocean, we should know? Other than the fact you're a pantheist
Wait.
that keeps hookers
I'm a
in
little
boxes.
stuck here. Who doesn't keep poison boxes?
I was just getting ready for the sacrifice later this week.
Hey,
No,
I was
me-
looking after you.
pop
No,
out.
The reason why she's in a box
Surprise.
is just order her on Amazon. You know, they ship them in.
I was looking after No Clip, but I know who actually infuses every conversation. It's Ocean. It's Ocean. There you go.
What? What? Every
You infuse every conversation.
infuse?
It's because the ocean surrounds basically all the land. You see.
No.
I
I'm
like to
not
think it's just
talking-
because I'm.
I'm not talking about land-bound chat. Ocean is the one who can change the subject in 2 seconds in a heartbeat.
I like
and
to think
I
it's
love
making me
that.
wet.
I love that because he gives
God,
you
he's talking
all
over me.
psychological fucking carousels. So there you go.
It's just the motion of the ocean.
I am thinking we might end the stream pretty soon because we kind of opened it up for AronRa to come in here. And
he won't show up because I'm here.
No, they won't.
I'm kidding. Me and AronRa are somewhat chill. I think he still has me blocked on Twitter though.
Why would you do such a thing?
Ooh,
What have you done to him to make him
you
block you?
really want to have that conversation?
Yeah, I must have missed out, you know?
Well, yeah, it's kind of confusing considering Steve recently released that whole G-Man video, and it's just like on there, Ocean's on there just trying to get everyone to shut up so G-Man and R.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I've been blocked on Twitter since before that conversation with AronRa. He and I are chill. We're in the same room, but there's been like a couple of conversations where I've gotten the better of him, and he doesn't like it. So if we're not talking to each other, it tends to be okay.
That whole G-Man hangout, people would just up like it was
the
two
best.
particular people, Max Saints.
Yeah, it was just like, no, everybody else be quiet. AronRa and G-Man, just let them have sex in front of everybody and just like watch them do it.
And that one guy
we don't
just
need to
kept
have any other
asking
commentary.
questions.
Let's watch AronRa make a complete fool of G-Man, which is exactly what he did.
Well, I don't know how
AronRa-
we needed AronRa for that. You just let G-Man do it.
Oh,
Actually, I'm pretty sure G-Man knows more about evolution than AronRa, sir. Okay.
I mean,
so
Ocean,
if anyone made a fool of
AronRa,
himself,
I
it was
could
us.
say no.
This is no clip
Shoot him a
speaking,
message
right?
and be like, hey.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you.
Okay, because
I can't hear what David was saying.
Because there's like this wonderful button, right? There's actually two of them. One says kick no clip, and one says ban no clip.
Hey! I was just pulling your chains, dude.
All right. So am I.
Obviously,
Yeah, but I think
obviously, G-Man doesn't know more. Yeah.
No clip. I think you want to be a part of the community, but your voice is not getting heard, and that's up to you, mate, to do what you want to do. But
No. I was just making a joke, because G-Man.
Yeah, but
he air quotes knows more about evolution than AronRa. That was like the highlight of the thing for me when he said that.
I was
Villamita is gonna.
I died when he said
that. He's gonna take you out if you think a certain thought could be beneficial. I don't know, but if you want to
That was me joking. That was my idea of joking.
Yes, he was joking about my joke. It was a joke laying on a joke.
I would never kick somebody out for making a joke.
Jokeception. Got it.
Yeah, this is just like a big layer cake of jokes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, I feel a bit sorry for you, no Clip. I don't know why.
No. Look, it's the Gabriel's cake of jokes.
Now I want cake. I'm gonna make a cake.
I've got cake downstairs. Woohoo!
I got a cake. My uncle's birthday was like 2 days ago.
Okay, we're talking about cake. This is a very... Everybody, go get some cake. I don't care how you do it. I don't care when you do it. Sometime in the next 24 hours, go get some cake. So that we're
if you
end
don't,
the stream. All right, guys, that's it for the evening. I appreciate you all. Bye. Go get some cake and have a good evening.